If I say Italy, what comes to your mind? Probably this. Food. Good food. Healthy lifestyle? Not quite. Unfortunately, Italy has the same problems as we do in the United States. There are thousands of people who are not only overweight and obese, but that also have serious health conditions. That's because food and health and food and diseases are far more closely related than what people think. Italian scholars and scientists had discovered this thousands of years ago, but unfortunately, they were forgotten. Today, we're used to taking medicines for any kind of problem, and we have forgotten the very important and true life lesson that says, you are what you eat. I flew all the way to Rome today because I wanted to meet this amazing food and health expert who has revolutionized Italians' health simply through the right food and specific supplements. His name is Adriano Panzironi. Over 10 years ago, he created a veritable lifestyle called AP Life.
After I turned 30, I started suffering from various pathologies, such as intestinal problems, articular issues, strong headaches, but most importantly, I had a considerable problem with food allergies. For 10 years, I did what everybody does. I used medicines to keep these pathologies in check. Then when I reached my 40s, I wanted to focus on my health and understand why these pathologies had begun. This is why I started studying, reading various type of experts of the sector, scientific research by Nobel Prize winners too, and I understood that they all had something in common: too much sugar in the diet. In actual fact, us Westerners eat too much sugar every day.
When Panzironi talks about sugar, he means bread, pasta, pizza, rice, potatoes, corn, cereals, and pulses. All the kind of food that can cause blood sugar to rise and consequently, in the long run, cause serious diseases. Panzironi has consulted studies of high repute that have often been disregarded by the pharmaceutical industry and the food industry, but the results of his studies have become 2 best-selling books. The first one is similar to a manual that explains the mechanisms that excessive sugar consumption can cause to our health and how to change these harmful habits. The second one is a vast international bibliography that backs up each one of his claims and recommendations.
Independently of what you might hear from the experts of the sector, that our body runs on sugar, the opposite is true. There are cells, like neurons, that favor using sugar, but the majority of our cells use fat to produce energy. This means that when we introduce an excess amount of carbohydrates or sugar in our metabolism, it's as if we were introducing a slow-release poison. This, obviously after decades of an incorrect diet, leads to the appearance of all modern pathologies, one of which, and perhaps the most evident, being diabetes. Diabetes is a metabolic disease due to excess sugar in the blood that once, about 100 years ago, was considered rare, whilst today it's considered the disease of the century.
What health issues can be caused by an incorrect diet? Well, you can think of mainly obesity or excess weight, but in actual fact, there are a number of pathologies, such as gastric and intestinal problems, arthritis, migraines, skin diseases, high blood pressure, chronic fatigue. It is widely known that there is a strong link between oncological diseases and food.
Obviously, I would never say that the right lifestyle can make you recover from cancer, but by following the AP Life lifestyle, you can reduce the risk of getting ill, and most importantly, if a pathology arises, you have a greater chance of recovering. Substantially, we put ourselves in the best condition possible to live better, be healthier, and live longer.
AP Lifestyle has begun over 10 years ago, and over time it has won a huge number of Italians. Through his books and his TV shows, Panzironi has reached an increasingly broad consensus. Each year's national TV season ends with a grand show where Panzironi's work is acknowledged and cheered by an ever-growing crowd. In Panzironi's TV shows, you can see different stories of many people who have overcome serious diseases and lifelong discomfort. After 10 years, AP Life has evidently succeeded, and one of his works is a research carried out on thousands of volunteers with outstanding results. So your first and most celebrated book is called Living to 120. Is it 120 years? Why 120?
Because our body is capable to potentially live to 120 if we follow the correct diet, in line with our biology. Undoubtedly, nobody has reached that age today, because all of us, for most of our lives, have always followed a diet that is far from our biology and therefore incorrect. If our grandchildren followed the correct lifestyle right from their birth, they could reach this milestone. But at the same time, I also think that living longer and healthier is something that we could all appreciate too.
So AP Life is a diet?
No,
it's not a diet, it's a lifestyle. This is why you don't have to measure or weigh anything that you eat. It's a lifestyle, which means that you have to do it throughout your life. On the other hand, when you start to see the excellent results on your health, well-being, body, and mind, the first question you will ask yourself is, why didn't I start sooner? The AP Life lifestyle obviously consists of a low-carb diet, but it also includes specific supplements and correct physical activity. Speaking of supplements, everything that we eat today is ultra-processed. We follow a lifestyle that is far removed from our biology. We don't experience sunlight and stress levels are high. These daily stressful events lead to an excess of cortisol. Well, all these factors cause an endemic lack of micronutrients, which is why supplements are essential. Vitamin D, for example, is a very useful supplement, as a hormone that can affect hundreds of cellular functions. But how many people do you know who check the quantity of vitamin D in their blood and have regular checkups? Research tells us that 90% of people don't check it and in fact have a deficiency of vitamin D in the blood. But we could also talk about vitamin C that, in the right quantities, is able to improve the immune system. We could talk about spices, which are fantastic for our gastrointestinal system. We could talk about the nutrients that are able to lower cortisol and therefore improve our stress, by reducing it obviously, but we could examine many more nutrients too. So if you met someone who tells you that you don't need supplements because you can find everything you need in your food, well, they are either misinformed or in bad faith. And well, they are certainly lying, knowing that they're lying.
AP Life is therefore a complete diet system that reduces and controls carbohydrates on supplements that are produced and sold directly to customers. Adriano Panzironi has triggered a shift in the dietary culture and lifestyle of an entire country. This company has enjoyed continuous growth in number of customers and turnover. Dozens of nutritional biologists provide telephone consultations, and customer care is one of the company's main priorities. Now it's finally time to export this winning formula all over the world.
Human biology is the same at all latitudes. Us Westerners have given too much room to the pharmaceutical and food industries, and today we're paying a high price for that choice. And yet it wouldn't take that much to change course. After all, we are talking about our health and therefore our life.
With his pleasant, eccentric look and the calmness of someone who knows what he's doing, and by also maintaining his cool even when dealing with the most ardent skeptics, Adriano Panzironi and AP Life have taught Italians how to be healthier, stop taking medicines, and overcome or greatly improve their pathologies. Not bad for a country that has made pasta and pizza famous in all corners of the world. Now his greatest challenge is to help millions of people who are obese and overweight in the United States. 31% of Americans are overweight and 42% are obese. This would also lower the astronomical amount of money being spent every day on non-vital medicines and increase the life expectancy as well as quality of life of many Americans.